Alright, it's your girl, live from the front lines. You think that $200 you sent for her sick Lola was a one time thing, don't you? Cute. You think her smile is the only thing you're paying for? Let me tell you something from someone who sees the other side of the screen. You haven't found a girlfriend. You've acquired a business merger where you are the only one putting in the capital. I'm about to hand you the real invoice, the one we don't show you on the dating apps. So, you're him. You're between 30 and 60. Maybe the ink on your divorce papers is barely dry, or maybe you're just tired of a quiet house. You have some money, some time left, but not enough of either to waste. You came here looking for a soft landing, a traditional girl, a second chance. Instead, you've just sat down at a poker table where you are the only tourist, the chips are your life savings, and you can't even read the cards. You've been warned. Dating in the Philippines is not a casual game. It's a high stakes professional sport, and we are trained from birth to play it. Your opponent is not just the beautiful woman on your arm. Her entire family, her neighborhood, a whole system of cultural debt is playing her hand. You see a romantic partner, they see a team sponsor. Every decision you make is a bet. Every I love you is a call or a raise. And believe me, mistakes don't just cost you the pot, they cost you everything. Pay attention. This isn't a blog post, it's a field manual for financial and emotional survival. You think you're in a relationship, but you're in a transaction zone where the currency is your hope. You are betting your future on what you think you see, but you are blind to the invisible rules that govern every single move. I am here to give you a fighting chance by showing you exactly how the deck is stacked against you before you go all in on a hand that was never meant to win. The game is not about love at first sight, it's about calculating risk. You are a walking, talking stimulus package, and your loneliness is the pre existing condition that makes you the perfect mark. The fantasy you're chasing, that of a grateful, submissive partner, is the bait. The reality is a complex system of non negotiable liabilities designed to extract resources. For the unprepared, financial ruin is not a risk, it is a mathematical certainty. This is you against the world, so stop playing the victim and start playing the game. So you need to ask yourself right now, before we even deal the first hand of this brutal, beautiful game. Forget what the dating sites promised you. Forget the sweet nothings she whispered over the video call last night. Look at your bank account, look at your life, and answer the one question that actually matters here. Are you playing for love, for sex, or for survival? Because the answer you gave, whether you whispered it to yourself or screamed it at the screen, sets the rules of engagement for everything that happens next. Let's get tactical. Your first and most fatal mistake is thinking you're the only soldier on this battlefield. You see that other guy, the German tourist who looks twice your age and three times as sad? He's in her inbox too. The Australian FIFO worker on a 2 week rotation? He just sent the load for her phone. You aren't in a duet, you're in a choir, auditioning for the lead solo. This isn't a romance, it's a competitive market. Her attention is the commodity, and you're just one of a dozen bidders. Remember that photo she sent you this morning? The one captioned, "Just for you"? She sent it to three other guys with the same caption. Your validation is her leverage. Your good morning text is cross referenced against another guy's offer to pay for her lunch. You think you're securing a flank, but you're just one of many probes testing the line, and the one who pays the most gets the most attention for a day. Which leads to your second mistake. You pay for updates you're not subscribed to. You hear, "I'm sad," and you translate it to, "Send me money for a new dress." This is a classic ambush. A friend of mine's guy, a sweet, clueless Brit, heard she was stressed about her future and paid for a whole new laptop for her online classes. The only online thing she did was post photos of it at Starbucks with her barcata, captioned, "Feeling blessed." He didn't buy her a tool, he paid for a prop in her social media theater. The third mistake is falling for the oldest trick in the book, the sudden, unverifiable crisis. A typhoon hits an island you can't find on a map, and suddenly her family's roof is gone. Her brother gets in a motorcycle accident right after you mention your tax refund. These are not acts of God. They are targeted munitions fired directly at your savior complex. One guy I knew paid for his girl's Lola's funeral twice. He only found out when he saw the deceased grandmother smiling in the background of a birthday video months later. He was embarrassed, of course, humiliated, but at least the damage was contained to his pride and his bank account. What he did was a simple rookie error, a mistake made by a foot soldier who doesn't understand the map. And this is still the easy level, the part of the game where you only lose money. The next mistake, the one most of you are making right now, is the one that doesn't just destroy your wallet. It's the one that destroys your name. And this brings you to the fourth mistake, getting played by the jealousy game. You see a photo of her out with some guy she swears is just a cousin. Your gut twists. Instead of asking questions, you panic. You send her a bigger flower arrangement, a more expensive dinner delivery to mark your territory. You think you're fighting for her, but you're just bidding against yourself in an auction she created for her own entertainment. You didn't win her back. You just confirmed that jealousy is a button that dispenses cash. This works because you're not a captain, you're a taxi. You wait for a call for a destination and you get paid in validation. She feels bored and you're the Uber Eats order. She's lonely and you're the Netflix movie she puts on in the background. You are a service, not a partner. You are not steering your life towards a shared goal. You are being hailed to fix a temporary problem. Your desperate need to feel needed is the fuel she uses to take you for a ride. A captain has a map. He knows his destination, his fuel reserves, and the storm clouds on the horizon. A taxi driver just waits for the next fare, clueless about where he's going until someone else gets in the car and gives him an address. Right now, you are driving your life like a taxi. Every text from her is a new fare, a new distraction, pulling you off course. You are so busy collecting these cheap fares that you don't even realize you're not the one in the driver's seat. The fifth mistake is believing that the cost is just the money. It's not. The real price is the precedent. When you pay to soothe your jealousy, you teach her your insecurity is profitable. When you buy her a laptop to cure her stress, you teach her that your savior complex has a price list. You are not solving problems, you are funding the construction of a more sophisticated cage. Each impulsive payment is another bar in the prison of her expectations, and you are forging it with your own hands. You think you're investing in a future, but you are just paying to delay a breakdown. The money is a symptom. The real disease is your lack of strategy, trading self respect for a temporary hit of affection. We've been talking about how you lose money, but that's the amateur level. The game changes completely when you stop managing her demands and start managing your own. It's not about winning her, it's about not losing yourself. The real game begins when you stop negotiating with hope and start setting the terms. So you've been played. Good. The lesson is expensive, but it's been paid for. Now it is time to collect what you bought, a strategy. We are done diagnosing the disease. We are now building the quarantine protocol. We're moving from the taxi stand to the airport runway. A captain doesn't just jump into the cockpit and hope for the best. He has a checklist. Every single item must be greenlit before he even thinks about pushing the throttle. You are about to get your checklist. First is the pre-flight inspection. From now on, every request, every sob story, every financial opportunity is grounded on arrival. It does not get clearance until it passes your filter. Is this a verifiable need or a status driven want? Does it align with the budget you have already set for this relationship, or is it a surprise expense? You are the air traffic controller, and your new job is to say no. You must learn that unforeseen is not an explanation, it is a tactic. Next is the weather check. The request passed your initial filter. It seems legitimate. You still don't say yes. You test the conditions. You say, that sounds tough. Let me look at my finances this week and see what's possible. Then you watch. You are checking for turbulence. Does she show patience and understanding? Or does she manufacture a storm of guilt and pressure to force your hand? A genuine partner respects your flight plan. A hijacker will try to break into the cockpit. After the weather report comes back, you make the call. Clearance for takeoff or return to gate. This decision is binary and unemotional, based only on the data you just collected. If her reaction was respectful and the need is real, you can consider a calculated move that fits your budget. If there was turbulence, you return to the gate. The flight is cancelled. A pattern of cancelled flights doesn't just end a trip, it puts the entire airline, your relationship, under immediate critical review. This is the system. Filter, test, decide. That's it. This is your new command console. You are no longer reacting to her emergencies, you are managing your own airspace, protecting your own assets. This isn't a game of feelings anymore, it's a game of procedure. So take out a pen and write this down because you need to know this system cold. In the next act, we're taking this out of the simulator and into live execution. Your training starts now. The checklist is live. Your phone screen glows at 2 a.m. It's her. First, a photo you know isn't just for you. Then the text. Babe, I miss your voice. My cousin just got the new iPhone and I feel so left behind. My old one is so slow. This is not a conversation. It's a ping pong serve aimed right at your ego and your wallet. Before, you would have lunged, a desperate, clumsy return. But now you have a checklist. You have a position. You wait. You don't take the bait. You apply the system. Filter. This is a 100% status driven want, not a need. Her phone works well enough to send the text that is trying to get you to buy her a new one. Test. You send back the pre approved, unemotional probe. That sounds frustrating. Let me look at my finances in the morning and we can talk about it. You haven't said no. You have simply returned the serve, deep and slow. You have forced her to reveal her game in her next shot. And here it comes. The storm you were checking for. The rally speeds up. In the morning, I was going to make a special video for you tonight. But I guess you're too busy. It's okay. My friend said her brother from Australia is very generous. This is the smash attempt, a triple combo of weaponized sex, guilt, and jealousy, designed to make you panic, abandon your position, and make a fatal error. This is the cockpit door rattling. She's testing your nerve. You hold the line. This is the moment a captain earns his title. You see the manufactured crisis, the emotional blackmail, and you make the call. Return to gate, you type. Sleep well, talk tomorrow. The flight is cancelled. The immediate result will be silence, a cold shoulder, maybe a day of passive aggression. You have sacrificed a night of false affection, but you have saved yourself hundreds of dollars, and more importantly, you just reinforced the frame. You taught her that the panic button is no longer connected to your bank. This is the entire game in one exchange. It's not about smashing the ball back over the net with more money and grander gestures. It's about being in position. Your checklist is your footing. Most of her shots are designed to make you lose that footing, to force a reactive error. You will soon learn the final, most powerful law of this brutal game. You are not required to return every serve. Sometimes you win the point by simply letting the ball fly past you, out of bounds. Let's review the new rules of engagement. Filter, test, decide. You are no longer a taxi waiting to be hailed. You are the captain with a flight plan. You were trying to buy the flower, drowning it in money, hoping it would bloom for you. A man with a checklist understands he is the bee. He has the pollen, the value, the resources, the strategy. He decides which flower is worth visiting, and he is never desperate because he knows his own nectar is the prize. That is your power now. You choose. So let's be clear. This was never about being cheap. It is about the brutal difference between being a provider and being a mark. A provider gives from a position of strength, on his own terms, as part of a clear strategy. A mark gives from a position of weakness, reacting to manufactured drama, trading his self respect for a hit of validation. The money was never the point. The point is your sovereignty. The most expensive thing you can ever lose is control over your own decisions. If this manual felt familiar, if you saw your own bank account being drained in one of those mistakes, it's time to stop hiding. I want you to go to the comments right now and write which one it was. The family tax, the emergency subscription, the status fee, the future trap, or the exit toll. You are not alone. We stop being victims when we start comparing notes. Subscribe for more field reports from the front lines. Share intelligence. We are building an army. If you want to fund the next mission to keep this intel flowing, the super thanks and PayPal links are below. This is your war chest. Your assignment for the next 24 hours is simple. Open your bank app, find the last time you sent money, and identify which of the 5 costs it really was. No more lies. Look at the truth you just paid for. This is your girl, live from the front lines. Stay strategic, stay solvent, and don't come until you've won.